And welcome back. As you can see, some members of this panel moonlight a little bit, if that's the right expression. So what are you brewing?
What am I brewing? At the moment, I'm doing a cider with mulberries, because I've got that many mulberries.
How do people find mulberry cider?
Mulberry cider. Stay tuned. No, we're actually coming back for a second series in December.
December.
Not to plug, but yes. Coming back, second series.
And for those people who haven't caught on to what we're talking about, we're talking about
Brew TV.
Okay, Brew TV, right here on the station. Yes. Right? But this is Beyond Gardens Live.
So no calls about beer.
And this is no calls about beer, thanks. This is brought to you by our sponsor, the Water Corporation. We are grateful for their long-term support. You can talk with us, if you wish, by calling that number down the bottom, which has disappeared now, so we'll put it back up again. Yep. There it is.
So yes, call us 6468 5994 and please turn your sound off.
Okay. And during the program, we will be referring to water-wise specialists, and look for those logos that you've seen there. Or, now I have to think about this, look for that logo up there behind me. Okay, all right, there we go. I bet you did the wrong arm.
I did.
Yes.
Because I was looking at the team.
Yes, okay, all right. Now, we were doing well on the emails. Can we barrel back to very quick question. How do I get rid of the weeds? We had a gentleman called Gaurav who called in with pictures of whole swags of different weeds. I don't think we need to run through them.
No.
Essentially, the answer is the same for all of them, and that is to use a glyphosate-based herbicide, which is about the only herbicide that you can buy now. It's confusing when you get to the shop to buy it, because you can buy ready mixed at a very expensive per unit rate, or you can buy the concentrate, but it certainly does work. Or nowadays you can also buy gel form, which is interesting for some of those plants that glyphosate spray won't stick to, like onion weed and things like that.
Gladiolus.
And things that you can use the gel around things like roses, which are extraordinarily sensitive to glyphosate drift. So, okay, all right. And then we had, am I going ahead of it? I'm racing to get through it. It's the last program, very much aware of this.
One more and then we've got a call.
And then we'll go to Gary. Yeah.
Oh, we've got a call.
And we've got a call. But, but the email, well, this was a catch-up, wasn't it? What was the edible hedge we were talking about? And the answer is it was this one.
Carissa.
This is Carissa grandiflora, and that's the hedge that you can see there. Just stay with us, and we'll change that picture through to the flower and the developing fruit. And so it's pretty, it's thorny, it's got a fair bit of vitamin C in it, I believe.
Yes.
But it's very tough and will grow right on the coast.
And there is a brand new hybrid out right now.
Yep. Okay.
Just been released.
So there we go. I hope that satisfies our caller. I didn't think it was Vicky.
Yes, thanks, Vicky, for that.
Are we rushing? Yes, this is a concentrated program, this last one. And Gary, you're verging again.
I'm verging again. Last week we talked about some water-wise tips. We thought we'd continue this program, and we just go very quickly and just talk about the Water-Wise Council program. There's about 40-odd councils involved in this, and we're partnering groups like the City of Mandurah. And this Water-Wise Verge program, we've done close to 30-odd verges in Mandurah. And just to give you a clue on how much water that is in saving, it's nearly an Olympic-sized swimming pool worth of water every year we're now saving instead of watering lawns. So a massive difference. So we've basically gone through this process of taking a lawn into a garden. This is 11 months later, and it develops a garden. No more mowing, no more watering, you name it, it becomes really interesting. Couple of tips. You do not have to dig up your lawn and spend a lot of money going down to the tip. Bit of glyphosate, kill the lawn, let it die in its place, and then all those nutrients are returned to the soil. The plant you use is very, very important. For instance, a water-wise plant is only going to use 3 buckets of water over the period of summer. Non-water-wise, look how many buckets it's going to use. Absolutely. Multiply by every single plant in your garden, you can see the difference. So how do you find? There's a database with the Water Corporation. So you can go onto their website, log on to the Water-Wise database, do a search, and it'll give you all those plants that work really well for you.
Absolutely.
Couple more tips.
Basically, you don't need to use any more fertiliser either.
No more fertiliser. A couple more tips, and this is the one really for Mandurah because they've got so much nutrient going into the estuary. It's really starting to dry it up. you're going to put small plants in and you often end up with that dull period of 18 months to 2 years when you have little plants in a big spaces. We used everlastings and things like that to cover that spot and create a flash of colour while the big plants start growing. And the final one in this is, please, we've really got to stop using sprinklers on garden beds. They're hopeless in WA. We're windy, it sheds off, we have non-wetting soils. This type of inline dripper system with the dripper inside is so efficient. It's what, about 95% efficient?
Yeah.
So as best a sprinkler can make is about 65, isn't it?
Yeah.
Something like that.
We might need to explain that photo in case people are confused, because I've used that before and people are going, oh, what's he doing?
Yeah.
When you look at that picture, what we've done is actually slice through the pipe and then cut it off to show you that there is a dripper inside. That's not how you see it normally. You just get a pipe with holes in it, and that's it. Really very efficient system indeed, and this doesn't happen very often. Not only the most efficient, also the cheapest.
Absolutely.
And that's rare.
And it's easy to install once you know how.
Oh, and please don't confuse this with that leaky hose.
No.
Sweaty hose. That's a hopeless irrigation product.
So again, if you want more information on that inline drip irrigation, look for those Waterwise approved and Waterwise specialist irrigation shops and the Waterwise irrigator program, and they'll be able to give you the right advice.
All right. Well,
we have a very patient caller.
Let's go to the phones. Yes. Hello. Welcome to the program.
G'day, this is Rick in Balga.
Yes, Rick.
I called a while ago about the strawberry gums.
Oh, yes.
And joined the forum and so I'm still asking, has anyone?
Ah, yes. Has anyone got one?
The strawberry gum.
Yeah. Yep. And you haven't had any joy?
No, nothing.
Well, Rick, look, the best we can do for you is to say out loud, if anybody's got access to a strawberry gum or strawberry gum seeds, drop us an email and Rick will hear about it. You're on our website, Rick, and we'll talk about that towards the end of the program.
Yeah.
So good luck, Rick.
Yep.
Nothing like a challenge.
I'm on a corner block in Balga and I'm slowly getting sick of the lawn. So every time I cut it, I actually pile up all the lawn clippings and then go inside, grab geranium stalks, stamp them into the ground, and they're just growing slowly. I'm just spreading the garden across.
Yeah, good way to go.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yep.
good way to go. Hey, thanks for your call, Rick. Appreciate
Rick,
it.
we haven't forgotten about you, but we just haven't got an answer.
But we haven't got an answer.
Exactly.
But as soon as we do, it'll get posted up on the on the forum site.
Yeah, no worries.
So
Thank you.
keep persevering. Thanks.
Yep.
Yeah,
Okay.
it can be tough waiting for some plants. A lot of the bush food plants that we've used at Derby Yerrigan, we've had some interesting times sourcing those, but it's getting better.
Eventually it changes. Now, we've also got a very patient emailer, so maybe
Yes.
we should do that because I don't want to leave that over for any longer. It's just about Magnolia's little gems that are not looking that good, and I have got some images here, I believe, of it. Here we go. Let's see. Yeah. And this caller is having problems with these little gems because the foliage, as you can see, is losing colour and is dark and light. It's variegated. And this is how the trees are planted. So, a couple of comments we would make to start. Well, maybe you better. He's tried an awful lot of things. Our caller has tried an awful lot of things. And I would love to read them all out. But time doesn't permit. Where to start? Yes.
He's taken a soil sample to his local hardware store, who said that the pH was fine.
I wonder what the reading was.
Yeah, I'd be curious to find out the reading. And over the past few months, he's put granulated fertiliser, seaweed solutions, concentrates. He's also had weed mat down under the pebbles, which is a good thing to do if you have got the pebbles. He's removed some of that. He's added some more soil and some potting mix.
So
he's done a lot. He's
tried lots of things. But in the end, the leaves still look pretty awful. And look, without repeating the test, my feeling is quite strongly that you do have a soil pH problem. But you may also be creating an imbalance problem by the treatments you're applying. So I would strongly suggest your best treatment would be to apply complete trace elements. It's something we recommend very often. We don't recommend sulphate of potash, okay? But we do recommend complete trace elements because I think in your case they will be of some assistance.
Yes.
Yeah.
And apply it beyond the drip line.
Yep.
Yep.
Which is probably where most of his nutrients are going
Well,
at the moment.
unfortunately, he's got plastic carpet
Yeah,
outside the
unfortunately,
drip line.
that's not going
And it
to
doesn't
help.
go through the plastic carpet
Yeah.
very well.
No.
Yeah. Okay.
Exactly.
So that's the emails. We have a call?
We have a call.
We have a call. Okay. Hello. Welcome to Beyond Gardens Live.
Hello, John. How are you going?
We're going well, thank you.
Look, I've got a problem with my apricot tree. Mm-hmm. I've lived in my house for a few years now. Changed the levels a bit, put a little bit around the bottom of the tree in limestone. I've got a little root nodules coming out of the bottom of the tree. I was wondering if that's a fungus.
Oh, now these are, I'm a little bit unclear as to what they are, and this is why we love the emails with the pictures sometimes, but these little nodules, they're lumps on the lower part of the trunk, is that right?
Right at the bottom of the trunk.
Right at the bottom of the trunk. They may well be the start of suckering, and because the rootstock, again, it's a tough rootstock that's used, and we put our selected form grafted onto the top of it. So it may well be the start of a suckering process, in which case just keep your eye on them, and if they do grow and sprout leaves, just keep cutting them off.
The old apricot tree itself, it has a bit of gummosis at times. So it looks like it suffers a bit. I've lost a branch last year.
Yeah, I don't think there's an apricot tree left on its own that hasn't got gummosis of some sort or another. Look, it's probably a bit late to do anything about it now. This is the trouble you live with it. Rarely does it cause major problems, but just keep your eye on those little lumps.
I've never had it fruit. I mean, it flowers very sporadically, and it doesn't fruit at all, which I'm happy about.
It could also...
You'd be one of the few, I think.
It could be one of the varieties as well, because if you've got a high chill variety, it's not going to perform overly well in Perth.
Well, I think the other thing is that apricots do grow very well from seed. So
exactly.
if you don't know the history of it, it may well be a seedling.
I live in Eastern Mount, so it's not really the place for it.
No, but many people do. There are some people who live in your part of the world who have tremendous fruitful and productive gardens with a lot of work on the soil, admittedly, but they'll do very well. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you for your call.
Bye.
I'm sure we have more calls, but...
No, we don't.
Oh, we don't? Oh, well, that's amazing. Okay. No, that won't happen for long because we've still got emails.
Okay.
And the next one's interesting. This is somebody who's asking for advice about one of our native plants. And let's see if I got a picture of it. Oh, I've got a picture that's sideways. Okay, so...
Yeah, it's a funny picture, actually. And it's stretched and it's...
turn your head sideways to have a look at this picture, which I'll get up in a minute. There we go. There it is. Okay, so you got to turn your head sideways. You ready? This is live television. There's nothing quite like it. What you see in the picture is not happy. So what's he saying to us, John?
Yes, this is from Cheng. My stylidium is turning brown and looking dry. I feel it. I feed it with a seaweed fertiliser once a fortnight and water it once every 2 days. Wow. It is kept under shade. What am I doing wrong? Warm regards, Cheng. Thanks, Cheng.
Yeah, he's trying to do the right thing. I think this is the point. For those people not familiar with what stylidiums are, let me show you another picture now. Is this going to work?
Can you turn it sideways?
Here we go. Yes, okay, all right. So the stylidium is the botanical name for the trigger plants, and these are the ones that have this wonderful physical action of the trigger coming over and belting the pollinator. And I've decided that all pollinators of trigger plants are essentially stupid, because they go off to the next plant and get belted again. But that's another story, and fascinating story too. But the point about this particular trigger plant, and I think he did give us the name, pulviniformis, wasn't it?
Pulviniformis, yes.
Yeah.
Sorry, I should have.
Is that it comes from the southern goldfields, and there in summer it gets a bit hot. And you've got if you're a little perennial herb, in other words, not a woody creature, you've got 3 choices available to you when summer comes. 1, die, and 2, find some other method of surviving, or 3, the most common one, retreat below the ground. And that's exactly what your plant is doing. It's going below the ground. So no matter how much water or anything else you throw at it, It won't prevent it from going into dormancy, but unfortunately, you may kill it because you might cause the underground organ to rot. Yeah. So, no, just it's one of those things. Enjoy it while you can during winter and then put it aside. But put a little label on the pot. And this is from experience to remind yourself what it is. Yes.
Don't plant on it.
Because then you go and throw it out in summer and you go, oh, what did that? Yeah, I had one somewhere.
How many have been thrown out?
Yeah.
Okay, so hopefully, Cheng, that will get you sorted out with your stylidium.
Interesting.
So, yeah,
very curious as to where that plant came from.
Yeah.
That's another story. I don't know anybody who's offering that one.
Interesting.
well.
Maybe
Okay.
hit the forum. We have a caller on the line,
And?
I think. Yes.
Well, we'll
Yes.
say hello then.
Good evening. How are you? Hello?
Hello.
Hello, who's this?
My name is Barry. I live in Success.
Yes, Barry.
What I'm after is advice on where to buy a really good mandarin tree.
Oh, well, you know that we're non-commercial, so a little bit difficult for us to answer that, perhaps, clearly.
Yeah, personally speaking, I'm not going to mention any names, but when it comes to buying fruit trees, you really need expert advice. So you really need to start buying them from a specialist fruit tree grower, and good reputable nurseries.
I think it's fair enough to say, yeah. So
I
I'll
certainly
tell you
wouldn't
what we can do without promoting it too much. We can give you suburbs where these places are located.
Yes.
Where were your Success? Whoa, what would be the closest one there?
Down that way.
Not many,
There's
I don't
not
think.
many, exactly.
We
You
may
might
get
have
told
to-
afterwards.
You might have to have a little bit of a drive up sort of
Yeah.
Baskerville Way and
Baskerville, Wattle Grove.
Forest.
But some of the nurseries, even some of the chain nurseries, I say even, some of the smaller chain nurseries also have very good fruit ranges, and it's well worth going there.
Yep.
I guess what we're saying is avoid the major ones because sometimes some of the fruit varieties they offer are offered nationally rather than locally.
Well,
and getting the right varieties for local conditions is important.
Mainly the hardware chains and things like that tend to have
I didn't want to buy one from Bunnings or something.
Well, I wasn't going to mention that name, so can we move on?
one thing that you'll have to
Get me into
remember.
trouble.
One thing that you'll have to remember down Success Way growing citrus is improve that soil.
Oh, yeah.
Add the clay to the soil, as we've always mentioned, and the trace elements as well.
Particularly important in the coastal sense.
Yep.
Citrus do okay, but as you really got to do that groundwork. Yeah.
And improve
Water
wide.
they need.
And improve wide, not deep.
Yeah. Big
Particularly
wide.
citrus, they need that improvement way out past the drip line and no more than, 30 centimetres? You don't need to go much deeper than that. So it's not a lot of digging, but go wide.
Yep.
While we're on a roll,
And mulch.
don't forget the mulch. Yes, that
exactly.
mulch is critically important. And the thing about citrus, and it's worth bearing in mind, this is why the mulch is so critically important, is they have, relatively speaking, a very shallow root system. And so it doesn't take much to dry out. And the citrus don't forgive easily, I can assure you.
No.
They only need one dry spell, and that might occur today, and then they're not going to perform for you properly come next year. They've got a long memory.
Yes, they do. So hopefully that will help you, Steve.
We hope so.
Thank you very much.
How are we going? Well, I think we've almost caught up on emails, which is amazing, and I'm delighted with that. Thank you for all the people who have been sending emails in.
Exactly.
But we have calls.
We've got one more caller on the line.
Hello, welcome to the program.
Hi,
Hi.
I've got a problem with ants.
Yes.
Oh. I'm going to immediately let Gary talk to you about this one. Go on, Gary.
Yeah.
They're really, really tiny ants, and they get into the pot plants and around the base of the trees.
Yep.
Are they Argentine ants? Do they do damage?
No, what they're actually telling you is you've got a non-wetting problem at that point. The ants don't like wet soil. So if you treat with a wetting agent and get it wet again, you'll find the ants will pick up and go next door.
They're tiny, tiny little ones.
Yep. Every ant's the same. They all have that problem about water.
All the ants like the dry soil, and unfortunately fortunately and unfortunately there's over 3,000 species of ants in WA, if not more. So we can't identify it by just it's a small ant.
But if you want to find out what it is, the same old trick: a bit of sticky tape, and post it into the Ag Department entomology branch, and they will let you know what it is.
Yeah.
Even if it's in my pot plants, it's not going to do damage.
Ah, well, it depends.
Yeah, again, it depends. I'd be probably more concerned at the fact that it's a water-repellent soil more than the ants. So.
But there's a couple of things you can do about ants in your pot plants. Because what they will do, if they build a nest in there, is they will cause the soil to wash out. And before you know it, you've got a half-empty pot. And that is the old trick, but geez, it works well. Before you pot up, put some fly wire over the drainage holes. And that also prevents slaters as well.
Okay, and you can use the old nappies and not so much the paper nappies and the paper ice packs as soil wetters.
No, they're moisture holders.
Yep.
Non-wetting it breaks the wax layer and allows water to penetrate, whereas what you're talking about is something that actually holds water.
Yep.
Effectively, what clay would do in a natural environment.
It's taken me a long while to find these pictures of ants. I just want to make one point about here. We regard ants as a bit of a pest, but actually they're useful pollinators as well.
Fantastic.
Now, you need to fine-tune your TV to have a look at this next one, because running along there are actually coastal brown ants, and I wonder if I can get any more ant pictures. Oh, there they are on...
Harvesting aphids?
No, in this case, they're actually working with leaf hoppers.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Yeah, so I guess one of the other points about ants that's worth making now is when you see ants on a plant, you do get a little bit suspicious. Leaf hoppers, aphids, scale, these are all insects they work in association with and can make a bit of a mess. Okay.
So hopefully that will help.
Hopefully it'll help. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
And thank you.
Oh, are we squeezing calls in?
We've got one more call.
Why not? Oh, we can. We can
one
handle
more call and one more email. So let's get rid of all the calls and all the emails. For the
hello,
last show.
welcome to this, the last program in the series. You've squeezed in just in time.
Hello?
Yes, hello. Look, I can anticipate a problem because in the background I can hear my voice on delay. We'd love to talk to you, but would you like to trot over the TV and turn the sound down? Because it will throw you totally if you don't do that. The reason why we ask callers to do this, by the way, is that if you do call in, there's a considerable time delay. And it's like living your life again about 3 seconds later. It's difficult to talk under these circumstances. Okay. Are we back with the sound turned down? Hello.
Hello. I have a Dodonea and it has a lot of concertina type leaves on it and something's eating it and I was wondering what it could be.
Oh, good question. So we're talking about a Dodonea hot bush, is that the one?
That's it, yes.
Yeah, okay, all right. For our viewers, let me show you what a Dodonea looks like.
Yeah,
this is one of the ones that's out in the goldfields. But
is it the purple leaf variety?
It's a purpurea, yeah.
Yeah, the one that was very popular about 2 years ago until they basically...
So that's the one we're talking about, yes? Looks a bit like that.
Yep.
And something's eating it.
Yes, it's got a lot of dead little stems in it.
Yes.
And I've seen a couple of webs as well.
Yes.
I'm not sure if the webs have got anything to do with it or not.
I suspect they probably have. There are a few things that could be eating it. And what are particularly active at the moment are what are called bag caterpillars, or they're the ones that they make a little protective sleeping bag for themselves out of sticks. They're rather fascinating things. And they wander around the place. I was filming some the other day actually in the process of walking up the side of a pot. They come out at night and feed and then go back into their nest during the day. So you rarely see them.
I haven't seen it.
Could be almost anything. Yeah. I guess bottom line for me is this particularly tough plant on the verge of actually becoming a weed in some areas, a particularly tough plant, and it will take a fair amount of damage without any great effect. Just prune off the damaged bits. The insects are seasonal, and she'll be right.
Okay, so just let it grow through its problems. Don't worry about spraying.
My favourite recommendation of all garden treatments is patience. We all need a lot more of it. Yeah, and life's a lot easier if you're not worrying about what to spray with.
Absolutely.
Yep.
No, that's right. Okay, thanks very much for your call.
Okay, lovely. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Okay,
So
bye.
that was our last call for the
Last
season.
call for the series.
And we
yes.
also have one email left for the season as well.
Okay, one. Oh, I'm looking at the email and going, can we do it?
Yeah, very quickly. Here we go. So this is from Steve. He's looking into getting some chickens for the backyard. What are the pros and cons of owning them? What range of breeds is suitable? Is there good internet sources, etc., etc.? Yes, there's lots of information on chickens. The first thing you need to do is find out if you can actually have them in your local council. Most of the time you are limited to the number of birds. The common breeds, Isa Browns and things like that, if you want eggs, are very good for domestic gardens.
I'm glad you said Isa Brown. Look, I've got a picture of Isa
There
Brown.
we go.
Oh, no,
and please...
I've blown it. Hang on. There it is. Yep.
And if you do happen to get a rooster, which is a little bit hard to tell when you buy them as chicks, that becomes Christmas dinner, basically, because roosters are not allowed in the suburbs.
Oh, no. Now, I'm going to show you a picture that probably somebody will wish I hadn't. This is what nice pets chooks make. Okay, here we go.
Yeah. So,
no, we're not going to show you that picture, apparently. No, it's disappeared. It was there, but it's gone. Okay,
it's up there now.
I think time's beating us, which is probably why we're getting the message. We would like, as we get towards the end, once again to recognise the support of our sponsor, the Water Corporation. We're very grateful for that support. And without it, well, we couldn't do this program. As I mentioned, this is the last program in the series. It's getting hot. Our leaves are wilting a little bit. And we're going to retreat below ground, probably for the summer months.
Speak for yourself.
If we get enough nourishment, we might well emerge again in autumn, but, well, we'll wait and see if that's possible. Yep. Can I thank all the people who've been on the panel during the series, not just Gary and John, but also Alison Dawn and Steve McCabe have joined us from time to time. We also need to say a big thank you to the technical team, whose names you will see running across the bottom of the screen. It is a technical challenge, this program. It's been fun doing it, and we really sometimes have, I think, pushed ourselves beyond certain boundaries, but we've been able to smile.
I'll say one thing too, and what I'd like to do is thank the team, because all the people on the panel volunteer their time, so it's not a paid position, so it's been able to come through because of the generosity of the Beyond Gardens team.
And mostly, of course, we need to thank you for taking part. It's been fun, and we hope that we can repeat this sometime in the future.
Soon. Yep.
In the meantime, summer is a-coming, and we are a-going. From all of us, goodbye.
Good night.